to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel.
I am Brooks.
And first, we've got, this is the same person for both bottles, but two different ceremonies. Because Phreakmac sent us a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. We did some of it last week.
Okay.
This is Iowa Storm, which we already reviewed back in January of 2018.
Yes. Why do we do this again?
Because sometimes we run out of things in the vault, and when someone has...
He's a benevolent
He's a benevolent bastard. When someone has sent us something that's like, oh, that's good, because when we run out of that, we already have a restock bottle.
Right.
So we want to honor you, but we're not going to review it again.
Is there a run-up to benevolent bastard?
The you benevolent bastard.
Phreakmac, you benevolent bastard, here's the thing.
All right, now also Phreakmac sent us...
Yes.
I need to figure out that as a duplicate.
What's that language where they go, Enchanté?
Enchanté.
What is that? Is that French?
Yeah.
Again with the...
What are you with the French?
I don't know.
Okay, this is also a gift from Phreakmac as a magnificent bastard.
Phreakmac, you magnificent
Bastard!
So remember Isanti spirits? We did a whole bunch of weird looking things, and we looked at their label and we're like, this looks Hawaiian.
I just remember the label.
Yeah.
I remember nothing.
Except they're actually
the
from
whiskey.
Minnesota.
If I was from Minnesota, I wish I was from Hawaii too. I don't know.
All right, so this is one that I, for the life of me, could not find out any information about it anywhere.
Okay.
Not even on their own website. It's a straight American whiskey, which means it's at least 2 years old.
That usually means one of two things. Either they're sourcing everything and they don't really want it, they don't know how to talk about it, or they just don't know how to put messages out at all.
It's definitely sourced.
Okay.
Because in the back it says product of Canada.
Okay.
And that's the extent of the information that I have.
I wish I had like 3 extra seconds, because as you're saying product of Canada and I put my nose in there,
Smells like Canadian
it's
whiskey.
so Canadian.
Yes.
And I was, because now it's like I will never know. I'll never have the opportunity to know whether or not that is by itself, independent from knowledge, a Canadian nose, or if that just leads you into that mindset. But once you're led into that mindset, my God, that's a Canadian nose.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, in theory, in America, straight whiskey without an age statement has to be 4 years old.
Okay.
So notice it doesn't say anything but straight whiskey, not straight bourbon, straight rye, straight malt.
Dirty,
right?
rotten biker whiskey.
Which in theory means that there's no dominant product in here that would have made it a bourbon or a rye or a malt, right? But we don't know anything about this other than the back it says from Canada, and it says straight and there's no age statement.
It's an 80 proof whiskey. Mm-hmm. And man, it's that bright, shiny caramel. The soft, sweetened, bright, shiny caramel.
Yeah, I always think of it as like a metallic sugar.
Yeah. Definitely on the metallic, artificial, sugary type of spectrum. You know what? If you like Canadian whiskey.
Yeah, there's a slight sour note at the very, very end.
Oh.
Instead of ending in sugar.
No, it took me a while to get there.
Yeah. What is that?
It's called the finish.
Now,
In whiskey, it's known as the finish.
now when I go back to the nose, I'm finding it.
It's a little
In the whiskey.
It's less sugary, caramel, sweet, and once you acclimate to that sweetness,
Almost herbal sour.
I mean, I
What
get
is
what you're
that?
saying.
I can't figure out what that is.
Yeah, it's budget Canadian, man. Budget Canadian. There's so many budget Canadians that I've had where this is. You know what the ironic thing is? You and I are not in love with this whiskey.
Right. But it's going to be square in the middle of crowd pleasers.
We did that episode on the Whiskey Tribe channel talking about the top 20 most popular whiskeys in the U.S. according to sales.
Right.
And there is a surprising number of those that, which is like, I never even heard of this thing. And specifically as a category, the Canadian whiskeys were dominating. There was like 5 or 6 Canadians.
It's Crown Royal with a little extra barrel. That's all it is.
This is the Crown?
It's Crown Royal. It's in the family of Crown Royal, but with a little extra barrel spice and depth to it.
And wait, this has more depth?
Yeah, it actually does. The nose is better on the Crown Royal.
Yeah, the nose is
But just go for the taste.
Noticeably better, nicer nose on the Crown Royal.
But I'm assuming that people are going to drink this like people drink most Crown Royal, which is mixed into something, right?
You're not wrong.
So follow that immediately before you have a chance to think about it. And this has a little more
It does.
heft.
Well, Crown Royal has a better nose. This has a better taste. If we're in the spectrum of budget Canadian whiskey.
We're firmly in that category.
Yeah. Chip Welsh, question from someone new to the spirit world. What does the term store pick mean?
Yeah, so we did a whole bunch of those over the last week and a half.
You know who's famous for these? Irene Tan.
That's right, Irene Tan, and now SF Trader. Basically, it's when any kind of retail outlet, be it a website or an actual physical store, works directly with a distillery to choose a specific bottling from that distillery that's released exclusively for that retail outlet.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Hey, I did that almost as well as you do Rare Whiskey Friday speeches.
If only we had the speech need for
store picks.
Just somebody else asked the question, so he can do this again. We'll finally have a job for you here.
I'll do it once a week.
Great. You can justify your role because people come to bask in the wealth of my whiskey knowledge. That didn't sound like an earnest agreement.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. I was just doing the nodding and
Oh, speaking of so Danny Danny Karagioris.
Sure.
Danny Karagioris. Danny Karagioris was having was having a drink with my wife, and when I placed the bottle upside down and started observing the holiest of tribe ceremonies, she said, "I knew you were weird, but this is new weird."
I've thought about that all the time because I have regularly done that kind of thing out in public now, just because it's funny. And then half the table's like, what is going on? Ironically, even my dad does it. And he's not the one to observe the silly things, but if we're all sitting out smoking cigars somewhere and we finish a bottle, Dad's like, well, and everyone's looking at my dad like, what are you doing?
I had a funny conversation with your dad early in the channels, early in the life of the channels. We're sitting down and we're talking, we're drinking some whiskey, and he starts giving me notes on what he thinks should be different about the content.
No, nice.
And then it was like, we get a couple minutes in this, like, Brad, you do realize none of these videos were meant for you at all.
You are the wrong market.
He thought about it, was like, yeah, you're right. You're fine. Keep doing what you're doing.
You and Jimmy Leg.
Yeah. So, budget Canadian, basically in an American Minnesota, you said?
Yeah. It's put it in a soda or a mixer or anywhere you would be comfortable mixing Crown Royal.
That also, but also from Minnesota. That was where
Minnesota.
Right.
I thought you said mix in a soda.
Well, that's ironic because that's where people would traditionally put these flavors. Canadian whiskey budget goes with the soda and the ice. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, I fight for a friend.
Steal me, you steal your liver sarge.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.